normally come. But you don't have to think about it. Anything does it for you. Now we have the next. Look, first, on the first page of the chapter, the page number is on the bottom. On the second page of the chapter, it's on the top left, which is the left page. Always have the page numbers on the outside. And you have chapter, first chapter, which changes if you have the next chapter, for instance here. Now it says chapter, second chapter. And if you would have subdivisions like sections or subsections, you would get on the other side of the page, you would get the current title of your subdivision. All automatically without you having to do anything. So it's quite strong. Beginning again. So all from this. So it's not difficult. Of course, things get more involved if you want to do special things, but standard all has almost, say, 90% of what most of the people want is already there without you having to do anything special. But a weakness in this day of age is it's called from the command line. There is no nice graphical user interface, no bells and whistles. Now, I know, we know, the command line interface is king. We know that. But take that to your secretary if she goes like, where's the mouse? Where's the menu? Where's the window? It's not there. How can I work with it? No. You have, of course, you run a lot of integrated development environments which provide you with the bells and whistles. Editors, let's say. But really, all you need to have is Notepad. An ASCII editor is sufficient to do all your work. But it helps to have some extra things, which do syntax checking while you type and things like that. But basic, no. And you may have to run LaTeX multiple times before it stabilizes. Yes, because our table of contents was very small. But you can have a table of contents of multiple pages. So suppose you have a table of contents of 3 pages, then your first chapter will no longer be on page 3, but on page 5. Which means that all the chapter numbers and the page numbers will have to change. So you will have to run it multiple times. It's it's dependencies really. You have to resolve all the dependencies that they change under your hand, so you have to run it again and again. At least twice if you have a table of contents in the very beginning. Otherwise it will not work. 3 times if you have a bibliography or an index. Because you first have to find all the bibliographic references, put them in a separate file, and then read the file afterwards to put it again in. But that changes, of course, all the pages, so you have to run it again to get to get the read. Even 4 or 5 times if you have very long tables which span multiple pages, because you have to know where to cut off the table and change it and unchange everything. And sometimes you have to run it 5 times before it stabilizes. Sometimes it never stabilizes. Because you can have things when you change one thing, which on the next run gets changed back by something else. And then you have to nudge it a little bit yourself. Okay, that's the way it is. Also, it produces a number of auxiliary files you won't believe. Why? It's from computers which have next to no memory. So everything it does, it's immediately sent to a file. Nothing is kept in memory. Everything goes out to auxiliary files. Before you know it, you have like 10 or 20 auxiliary files. And they don't go away. They just stay there. Because you need them for the next run. Or the next 3 or 4 runs. And then you change one thing and you have to start all over again. And you have sometimes to run external programs, like indexing programs or bibliographic databases to get all the references in your text. And then when everything is combined, you have to start your viewer. Like Adobe Viewer, PDF, whatever. Acrobat, whatever. There are a lot of things to look at, but you have to start. So it's a bit, one time it's fun, the second time it's a bit less, but the third time you go like, okay, so what do we do? But actually, we have had this problem for ages with other things. We run any old compiler. It has to run the compiler, the lexer, the parser, the linker, God knows what other things. And how do we do that nowadays? well, nowadays, for maybe like 25 years already. We're going to make utility, a make file. Perl does it. Install a CPAN module. You run nmake, dmake, make. It does all these dreadful little things for you and cleans up afterwards. Fortunately, there is something which is called Latex, Latex make, which is a Perl script. And that runs Latex the correct number of times to resolve all the cross-reference and everything. It then runs all the auxiliary programs you need. And it even knows when it has to run it. You don't even have to tell it. It knows. And then it runs, in the end, the previewer. So you can see the output. After it has enough times, run everything. So, yeah, wonderful. And it can do a lot of special things extra on that as well. For instance, it can automatically run the previewer and everything once you have changed one of the source files, which is what make also does. It knows which source files have changed and then run exactly the things which need to be run to have a new finished product. It cleans all these auxiliary files away in the end. And it's regularly updated. Last version is from May this year. You can find it there. It's the first one. Or you can find it on CTAN, the Comprehensive Tech Archive Network, which is www.ctan.org. So don't be mistaken. We have CTAN and we have CTAN. And yes, CTAN predates CTAN by years. And if you go to the history of CTAN, it acknowledges the ownership of CTAN. Say, that was a good idea, let's do it also. Fortunately or unfortunately, but fortunately for the Perl world, CTAN has been upgraded over the years because we are programmers and deal with these things. Whereas CTAN is still the interface from way back then. It has the most terrible search function. It will find the file if you know the name of the file. So someone should really have a look at it, but everyone is used to it now, so it's just a little bit. Okay. So there are a number of modules on CTAN which deal with Latex. And we go through them very quickly. You have to use it yourself to see. First ones are those which translate something into Latex, and most of them are dealing with pot, because pot is ugly. Pot is not to be read like that, it's to be put into something differently. And you can make it with pot simple Latex, just one command, and filter as pot, make the standard Latex. It's not terribly beautiful. It makes like this. Okay. You got something better. It's pot Latex. It's not simple anymore. You can customize it a little bit, like say, I want to have a table of contents. Yeah. You want. Then you got a table of contents up front, followed by focus. Great. You got pot Latex book, which can put different pots from different modules together into one book. It's all the same, more of the same. Got one doc book, but that needs a special version of text, which is no longer maintained. So I think it's a bit